Hello and welcome to episode 32 of the XboxEra podcast. I am joined, as always, by Shpeshal Ed and Figments is back from his absence holiday. I don't know, where were you?
I was working on a personal project, so is what it is.
There you go. Well, it's nice to have the full crew back in the house, living the dream. It's been a crazy couple of weeks for us, really, as an entity online. There's been all sorts of things going on.
Lots of reviews.
It's been a busy month, actually.
Tons there's been a lot of games coming out. We had Wasteland came out.
Yep.
We had
Tell Me Why.
Tell Me Why came out. We had
No Straight Roads.
New
Super Lucky's Tale came to Xbox and PlayStation 4.
And on Game Pass.
Which I reviewed.
Has anyone even handled the new Tony Hawk game that just came out yesterday?
No.
Oh wow.
No. We've just connected with Activision. Their PR team have added us, which is great, but a little bit late. But we'll probably be there for COD season, which I know a few of the guys on the team are probably.
I'm surprised because I bought it on launch day.
Shotgun COD.
I'm really like weirded out that no one on our side ended up getting the game on launch and just reviewing it from there.
I am also surprised. I'm sure one of them has, or maybe it just hasn't popped in.
I Shotgun COD.
Yeah, I mean, we heard you. We heard you, Nick.
Just making sure.
But yeah, it's been a busy month for reviews. There's been a lot that we have looked at and played. There's been a lot of videos produced for it. It's just been the XboxEra team have just been taking names and kicking ass.
Yep.
And obviously,
I overhauled. I overhauled the OT on the forum.
Yeah.
I completely took over the OT and rebuilt it from the ground up.
Have you seen that, Figments? That he's just gone in and changed all your images and stuff? How do you feel about that?
I don't care. I honestly don't care.
Looks so good now, though.
It does look very good. and in fact, there's a couple of OTs that are absolutely fantastic. There's the PlayStation 5 OT.
I made the PlayStation 5 OT. I made the PlayStation Studios OT. Redid the Xbox OT. I'm working on a Nintendo one.
Oh.
I don't know how long it'll take because Nintendo's studio situation is weird.
Knows what the hell they're doing.
It's weird. So I'm collaborating with someone.
Collaborating. Well,
a friend, One Up Muffin.
I think the reason, dear viewer/listener, that Nick suddenly started putting all this effort in, he might tell you it's OCD of some form or he likes everything looking fresh and clean. But the reality is, the truth is, that we, the admin team, added an achievement to the forums for outstanding official threads. And if you create an outstanding official thread...
That achievement came after I redid the Xbox.
Why achievements?
Because we have them built into our forum, Figments.
Oh my god.
It's just part of it.
It's quite good for fueling conversation. But we built one in for outstanding OTs to show some appreciation from the admin team, the moderator team. When someone puts a serious amount of effort into their threads, you will get that achievement. Serious effort though. I'm talking, table of contents. I'm talking centering everything so it looks all prim and proper.
Mate, that Xbox OT was literally about 6 or 7 hours of work. It took ages.
It
took so long.
Good job.
It does look really nice.
Small clap for you.
It was full on.
So, as well as that, obviously, last episode we were sans Figments, but we announced the launch of our Patreon, which we were kind of humbled to see the response out there. Some very, very generous folks out there have joined us and basically are lifting us up, enabling us to do more, and it's kind of like, wow, okay, great, this is amazing. So it's really helped us out. So we're cooking on all cylinders, or firing all of the gas.
Cooking with gas.
I'm tired.
Cooking with
it's
gas.
late here.
Cooking with charcoal.
Out of all the games, I know, Nick, you played New Super Lucky's Tale.
New Super Lucky's Tale. Yep, really good.
Have you
Gave it
managed
an 8 out of 10.
Has anyone managed to actually play everything this month?
No.
Like, have you picked your genre? Has everyone just been too busy?
Well, I'm back. I'm back into Fortnite.
Oh God.
So, Fortnite's latest season pass is a Marvel one, which means, I'm back because they obviously understand that my favorite Marvel character is Iron Man.
Yep. I guess
And they made Iron Man the top, like the level 100 unlock. So you unlock Tony Stark, and then you do Stark's challenges, and then the emote is to become Iron Man. He just taps on his chest and he becomes Iron Man. It's very awesome.
Fortnite is basically one walking advert now, right?
Yeah.
So I'm working my way through the battle pass. I'm up to level 35. So I've unlocked. So Thor. You start with Thor. I've now unlocked She-Hulk. I'm almost up to Groot. Got my daughter the battle pass as well, so she's fully into it, which is cool.
I suppose it's fun to play with your kids.
Yeah. We've been playing duos and squads because her cousins play, so my nieces and nephews play. New Super Lucky's Tale is really good. The CEO liked our review, and I had a chat with him, and he joined the Discord, and I'm trying to get him to join the forum, and he's also interested in being on the podcast, so we're going to try and organise that too.
That would be a cool little guest to have, I think.
That was nice acknowledgement. He's a very nice guy, Paul.
Yeah, I think even Aaron Greenberg, the guy who obviously funds XboxEra, he doesn't,
right.
But that conspiracy theory is actually out there, and the people that believe
gives us all of our secrets
are insane.
Yeah, he doesn't pay us in money, the thing we'd actually want. Well, he pays us in leaks. So we know everything.
And he gives us all the FUD to spread. But he quoted, I know it was, I think it was Don Cabassa's first outing. He reviewed Wasteland 3. And they actually, the official Wasteland 3 account tweeted out an excerpt from our review, and Aaron Greenberg retweeted it. And then Phil Spencer retweeted Aaron. It was just like, all right, the whole gang's here.
Won't be long before we're on box arts, right?
Yeah. We're kicking butt. Outside of game, I haven't actually been able to play anything. I have been absolutely busy. Do you know what I spent today doing?
What?
Tanking.
What?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know this was a thing either, but if there are any Tylers...
The Australian version of tanking is obviously very different to what you're referring to, because tanking, when I hear of tanking, I think of sport.
Oh no, it definitely wasn't.
So when a team intentionally loses, that's called tanking.
Oh no, okay. So there is that phrase. Yeah. Oh, he totally tanked. Okay. Yeah. But no, tanking. Yes. I've been tanking, and in tiling terms, I've been painting water sealant paint and rubber seals all over a shower tray all day. It's been really monotonous. No. And at some point, the solvents in the air from the paint got quite heady, and I was a bit like. So it's been I've got a bit of a headache now, kind of like I've been drinking, but none of the fun involved. Okay. But I haven't been able to play any games because it's just been too busy trying to get this house into a livable state. As you can see, this office is going to be the last thing to get renovated, so be prepared to see this wallpaper for a while. Maybe not the boxes. Hopefully I'll be able to do something about those. Big bit of news this week. Everyone's favourite grunt character voice artist, aka Bungie legend Joe Staten, is back in the 343 Halo realm. He's joined the team to help push the campaign to completion following its delay. Interesting piece of news. I was
a lot of ways to take that.
I was surprised. I have to admit, I was surprised, but he's very knowledgeable and very, he knows his Halo better than anyone, one could argue. So it's only good news as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But they have got to be feeling the delay when it comes to the Series X launch, right? I know that's been a hot topic on the forums of late. Speaking of the forums and that particular thread, you caused some trouble this week, Mr. Shpeshal Ed. You caused some drama on the forums.
On the forum?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, right. That's right.
You did something a little bit naughty, and you upset a few folks. And we had to wrap your knuckles.
Pretty funny though.
I mean, from a completely outside perspective, if it wasn't us as moderators, yeah, it was kind of amusing. Sorry, Carpenter, but it kind of was. But yeah, it wasn't probably fair to you. So we're sorry. These things happen. We're learning as we go.
Yeah. There are worse things that can happen.
There are worse things that can happen in life.
First world problems.
It is. But yeah, so Joe Staten's back on Halo, helping bring that game to completion. You guys got any thoughts on when you think that might actually ship now?
I have said 1 year delay from the start, and I'm sticking to it.
You reckon fall next year?
Yep, fall next year.
Do
it properly.
I don't see them doing that. Probably early next year.
Then they shouldn't have delayed it.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have delayed it. If they're delaying it, just do the year. You've already delayed it. You've already missed the launch. You've already stuffed up your biggest thing. So if you're going to stuff it up properly and do it all the way, and make sure that when it comes out in a year's time, it looks the way people expect it to look, which is those trailers that came out.
And drop the Xbox One version.
They'll never drop the
if you're going to
Xbox
do it now,
version.
do it properly. Like, what's the point in delaying it for 3 months? What the hell are you going to achieve in that extra 3 months? Just delay it the year now.
I don't think it'll be
You've
3
already
months.
mislaunched.
I think it will probably be. If I was
6.
to hazard a guess, I'd say March, April, something like that.
I'd say minimum 6 months.
No, that's pointless.
Yeah, I don't think it would
That's
be
pointless.
It was just recovering from.
It's pointless because Nick doesn't want that.
Yeah,
that's why it's pointless.
I think it's been proven now that you don't have to release a game in the fall to have success, especially when it comes to a AAA release.
You don't at all.
And if the game's ready, then the game's ready, right? That surely you wouldn't begrudge that if the game is.
Okay, so here's the point of contention. Microsoft already thought it was ready, and then Craig came along and made them realize that maybe they're not ready.
Craig.
So I don't know if I'd be trusting their judgment on whether they think it's ready or not, which is why I said take the full year and make sure of it.
So that's fair.
But what the hell do I know? I'm just right the vast majority of the time.
Good one, Nick.
Whatever.
I love it. It feels a little bit. There's a little bit of like, I don't know. There's something in the air tonight. I'm not sure what's going on. But yeah, it's a shame. I was looking forward to playing that on launch day, but there'll be plenty of other fun things to play.
Yeah. Hopefully Joe brings it all together, but we'll see.
We will see. I tell you what, I am looking forward to playing on launch day. Just while we're on the subject,
what?
The Falconeer.
Yes.
Looks really
It looks
good.
Gorgeous. That game looks absolutely gorgeous.
Every time I see it, it looks better. And they've just announced, I think, Wired Productions, which is Thomas Sala is the developer
Publisher.
of the Falconeer. Yeah, Wired Productions is the publisher. They've announced a Steam PC-based beta before launch, which is just an early segment of the game. If you are interested in that, head over to the Falconeer Discord. Check it out, and you can join and you can register for a chance to have a little look-see, which would be very cool.
Yeah,
cool indeed.
But speaking of games coming soon or later, is anyone going to be keeping an eye on the Tokyo Game Show, or nah?
Probably not.
It's interesting.
And the funny thing is, it'll actually be at a reasonable hour for me because my time zone's not too different from Japan. So, yeah. Apparently, the Xbox is heading that show.
Out of nowhere.
What do you expect?
At least they're managing expectations a little bit better with that tweet where there's a cross next to no next gen news or something.
They've learned. It seems that
they've learned.
They're learning.
That's not going to stop anyone from overhyping it. They could literally say the only thing that's going to happen is Phil is going to come on stage and clap, and people are going to think they're going to announce a new studio. So. People are gonna overhype.
Broken record time. Temper expectations.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Don't expect anything, please. There'll be nothing there.
Japanese acquisition.
There's a reason why the OT title used to be grounded in reality. It's not just because of the pun.
Yeah. Well,
I have played a bit of Grounded.
I wouldn't be expecting too much there.
You guys dived into Grounded yet? Any way?
A little bit.
Really solid.
It's okay.
I've been trying to do Destiny, Call of Duty. I finished the Battle Pass in Call of Duty, so I don't have that to worry about. Just got to get to 155 before the season ends, and then it's Wasteland 3 and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, and that's all I'm doing.
It's just too expensive.
Oh my god, it's not. I'm not,
and it's funny. Like I say, Tony Hawk's too expensive. $70, 70 Australian, which I can get new games for, as in new games. Like if God of War was coming out tomorrow, I'd be able to get that for $70 Australian. So it seems a bit much. Having said that, I went. So Nintendo stuffed me up and announced a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
For the 35th anniversary of Mario. And I ended up, my bank balance was about $500 lighter, about an hour later.
Oof, mate.
So, I went and pre-ordered those AR Mario Kart remote control cars.
Yeah.
God, they're awesome. Like as soon as my son saw those, he's like, I want them. And I was like, you know what, dude? I want them too.
I have deliberately not shown my wife or my son that because it would because we got the floor space for it downstairs now. It's like we could set up some serious tracks.
They're really so tempting. Cool. Such a cool idea.
Very, very cool.
So I pre-ordered those, 150 each. So there's $300. I went and pre-ordered 2 of those little Game & Watches. They're $80 each. And then, speaking of paying too much money for remasters, I went and pre-ordered Mario 3D All-Stars.
So it's an interesting one.
Jesus.
So they're releasing some older Mario titles. I think was it Mario 64?
With barely any effort put into these ports,
like
mind you. Not as much effort as Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2.
Right. And they're charging a bunch of money for it. And barely any effort put
for a limited time.
For a limited time. Even digitally.
Okay, so which Marios are in it? It's 64. Is Sunshine in there?
64, Sunshine, and Galaxy, not Galaxy 2.
Because Galaxy 2 doesn't exist.
I don't know. So look,
isn't Galaxy 2 the better one though?
Yeah, I actually prefer Galaxy 2 to be honest. I've got it digitally on the Wii U. I've still got the disc on Wii. My guess is that Galaxy 2 might get a better effort port down the track, like 3D World is getting. Because maybe Nintendo knows that Galaxy 2 is the better one.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Speaking of Nintendo, isn't there rumors that there's going to be a Switch Pro next year or something?
Yeah, I hope so.
God, I hope so.
I hope so. So, I'm probably going to sell... I might cash in on this Mario craze and sell my Mario Odyssey Edition Switch. I just replaced the Joy-Cons because my son dropped it and destroyed the 2 Joy-Cons that came with it. So I had to fork out $250 for a Japanese import of the red Joy-Cons again.
Oh, wow.
I'm replacing the backplate on it because the backplate on it is a bit wrecked. So I'm basically renovating or refurbishing that Switch and I'm going to sell it and then just buy 2 normal ones. But yeah, hopefully that Pro is coming. I hope, because it needs it. The Switch needs it.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but then the battery life is going to be trash even more than it already is now.
Probably.
So,
and then they'll do a
Switch,
revision of that, a better battery.
They can't. It's because, like, people have popped open the Switches before, and it feels like they have spare room for a bigger battery, but they just don't use it. It's weird.
Well, I mean, you don't think they've got spare room for more than 32 gig of internal storage?
Yeah, they definitely have spare room for that. But...
Yeah, well, there you go. So
their online is still terrible, and I hate them for it. But they make good games.
They do.
They make good games.
They do, and they make us rebuy them constantly.
And I guess it was interesting. I saw a post in the forums today just talking about how great, I guess, Microsoft's approach to BC actually is, in that my games just work, and more often than not work better or look better.
Yeah, they're upgraded, they're
faster.
boosted.
And they don't charge me for the
It's a weird
privilege.
thing, too.
But that's what happens when you're not the market leader. You know, and it doesn't matter what you do. I keep saying this sort of stuff. Look at the subscription space. No matter what Microsoft does, it gets talked about, it gets celebrated, but then Sony does something and no one gives a rat's. That's what happens when you're the market leader in the space.
Yeah.
And not even that, really, because, like, for a while, Xbox 360 was the market leader, but people still shat on Xbox.
Yeah, but it wasn't to the same extent it is now. Like those people were waiting for Microsoft to not be the market leader. They've just been waiting for it.
Yeah, it's a weird tribalism to console wars that I will never really understand. Just enjoy your video games, guys and gals.
Yeah.
The other bit of news I think that they released, talking about compatibility and all that sort of thing, was the design for Xbox accessories badge. They threw another badge on a box.
They rebranded it. Yeah, they rebranded it. It's a bit nicer than the old one. And there's a whole lot of partners compared to before. The main partner I'm waiting for is Bang & Olufsen.
Yeah, where's the cool headset? Where are
man.
Are they going to keep doing this stupid... I hope they stop with it, because... Every time I hear headset, all I think of is the fact that I still can't plug the USB dongle from my Corsair headset directly into my Xbox and it'll work. And I think that's stupid.
I believe Astro have actually said that they'll allow, like, they've got a dongle,
an update coming.
USB thing that will just make them work now. So I would expect that probably to filter out across the board, because they can.
Hopefully, because it's just dumb. Like, especially with the PC push they've been doing, that so far the only consoles that really actually have a space for generic USB audio headset support has been the Switch and the PlayStation, but not Xbox. Despite Xbox having a big PC push, you know?
Yeah, no.
It's odd, isn't it? It is odd.
It's more of those dumb decisions.
Yeah.
But Bang & Olufsen did announce new headphones, which are sort of like their own version of the Surface headphones, the H95. So I'm kind of hoping, I looked into those and they're amazing. €800.
Jesus.
I'm hoping that they're going to be the Xbox headphones, just rebranded and with the Xbox protocol built in.
800?
Nah. €800. So it'll be about 1,300 Australian.
Nope.
Screw that.
Nope.
So
I'm happy with my earbuds. I'm not really.
Well, Turtle Beach are releasing a second version of the Stealth 600s as well. But no, I've got my heart set on those Bang & Olufsens, and that's what I'm getting when they release. But yeah, you know, one weird partner I saw in that design for Xbox thing was Linksys. Linksys was one of the
router
partners,
manufacturer.
and I'm like, the guys that make the routers and the Ethernet switches.
Maybe they're partnering for some Wi-Fi 6 thing.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. Design for Xbox. Maybe they're going to do a design for Xbox Ethernet switch for LAN parties.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe it'll be something for Master Chief Collection. You can do the standby on your router again and just have some fun in Halo 2. Who knows?
Maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But speaking of Microsoft and dumb decisions and weird, confusing messaging and all the other stuff they're famous for, Microsoft threw bit of a cat amongst the pigeons and caused a whole bunch of confusion with everyone when they announced that they had made the 850,000 carbon neutral Xbox consoles, made it look and sound like it was Series X consoles, which then led people to speculate that they had only made 850,000 consoles for launch, which was never going to be the case. But then it turns out, after some digging from Tom Warren and a few other people, that it was 850,000 Xbox One X's since September last year. So that's why I assume they announced it now, because it was around the 1 year anniversary of when they announced their goal of making a certain number of carbon neutral consoles.
And they're not
so
they're not producing Xbox One X's or Xbox One S's anymore.
No. So I'm assuming just every Xbox One X that's been made in the last 12 months was a carbon neutral one. Or until they stopped making them. Every one must have been a 1X.
Interesting.
It'll be interesting. I hopefully they can transfer that pilot program over to the Series X. It'll be good.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Definitely don't think it will be initially, but hopefully they get there.
Yeah, absolutely. There's been what else has happened this week? There's been a bunch of new news. I think probably the biggest thing.
PC games, like, you no longer, like, GPUs now are your PCs. So you buy a GPU now. You buy the NVIDIA 3070, 3080, 3090, whichever one you want, and you just plug it straight into your TV,
and it just works.
You don't need the CPU anymore. You don't need the RAM. You don't need the motherboard. You don't need the power supply. You don't need a monitor.
You don't need any RAM.
You don't need speakers. You don't need any of those things.
Nope, it's true.
Or the hard drive. Or the hard drive. It's all the GPU now, which means that for $500, you get a PC that destroys the Series X. All for $500.
Man.
How good's that? How good is that?
Those YouTube headlines, that kind of title really drives me insane. You know, it's like...
NVIDIA just ended consoles. They just ended them.
No, they didn't.
Just like that. They just ended them.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I watched the NVIDIA presentation, and some seriously impressive hardware. Like, seriously impressive. And my next rig, which I'm really glad that I didn't buy 2 months ago.
Yeah, lucky.
Is gonna. I'm just waiting on the AMD's refresh for their CPUs to see what comes out. But yeah, 100%. Probably going to stick to 3080 in the new rig. Future-proof myself for a little while at least, but you know, they are expensive pieces of a larger piece of technology, right? So anyone out there, suck it, Xbox, now you're not the console power king. Yeah, okay, it's a console still, guys. It's still nuts for what it is. You get a whole lot of bang for your buck for what presumably will launch at $499. But it's really impressive hardware. The crazy hardware,
I don't know about that.
The 3090, god damn, 24 gig video card. I'm just like...
And you still need two of them to run Flight Sim.
Yeah, it's weird.
Man, my PC struggled with that game.
You will still need two of those 3090s for Flight Sim at 1080.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I don't know, that card did 8K 60 FPS. That's insanity.
Yeah.
Very, very performant.
With ray tracing on?
With ray tracing. 8K 60 with ray tracing. That's
with ray tracing. Are you sure about that? I don't know about that.
I'm pretty sure about that. It's impressive. It is impressive.
We'd have to look that up.
Someone's going to check me in the comments. I'm pretty sure. I'll stake my reputation on it. I'm pretty sure.
I'm going to assume DLSS was on there for that one.
Oh, probably, but still impressive as hell.
Yeah,
it is very, very cool. So, but yeah, so good news.
Good to see that we don't need to buy consoles anymore.
Don't need to buy them anymore. You can just buy a GPU, plug it into your TV.
Just plug the GPU straight to your TV. It's awesome.
Yeah,
that's so
massive kudos. I think it was Jez from Windows Central who tweeted out the hilarious image of a GPU plugged into the TV. So yeah, kudos, Jez.
Hang on,
you
guys.
Did a funny.
Something went wrong.
What went wrong?
Fucking my audio recording crashed.
That's okay. We just use this one.
That's okay.
Carry on. Keep
going.
You just keep on trucking.
Right.
What else have we got that's been going on? Ubisoft drops a little more rumours and confusion. Ubisoft drops a little interesting nugget of information, which was swiftly backtracked. Which was
Is that the Gods and Monsters thing?
No, it was that PS5 was not backwards compatible with PS1,
yes, that's
2,
right.
and 3.
Yes.
Whoops.
Yeah, which I mean,
Well, of course it
I don't
isn't.
think anyone outside of me a while back was expecting that. I was secretly hoping for it a while back, but don't think that's happening.
Yeah. I think the backwards compatibility picture on PlayStation is just
Super muddy,
I can't even see it. It's so dirty.
ridiculously muddy.
Yeah.
And they're saying nothing about it. Like, we are at most 2 months away from these consoles launching, and we know virtually almost nothing about what's going on with our PS4 games.
Yeah.
We heard that vague statement about the 100 most played games. Well, we're pretty sure they're going to be okay. And eventually we'll get around to those other 4,000 games, but we'll see how we go. Got some news for you. I'm willing to bet that those top 100 games might work okay, and then they'll just see if too many people start demanding other games, and at best, hopefully, we'll get 400 or 500 games backwards compatible.
Yeah, so I want to take this opportunity to discuss an interesting point of view, and I'm going to apologise if anyone's asked something along these lines for community questions later on, and that is there seems to be an overwhelming amount of further to understand the price of these consoles, and this confuses me, right? Any other piece of technology that is going to be released, be it a phone, a GPU, is announced usually 2 weeks before they come out, and that's when you find out the price, right? We all know they're being made. We know that the next Samsung Galaxy is already being worked on. We know that the next iPhone is being worked on. We know that AMD are working on their next series of GPUs, right? We don't know how much they cost. They'll announce them. They'll tell you the price. They'll launch 2 weeks later, right? Why is this industry, and why are people so utterly focused on it like it's a point scoring card? Like I get right that the price can determine to a degree some success or some failure, right?
That's right.
But we are all in the know. Like any console hardcore enthusiast, it's going to be around that 500 mark. I know crazy people from Australia think $599.
Well, to be fair, I believed $499 for the longest time.
Yeah.
Anyone can go back through our previous episodes and see that.
That's true.
I even was starting to believe $399 was a very real possibility. But now I am firmly in the $599 camp.
Wow.
It's going to be, brace yourselves, it's going to be a $600 console.
All those expectations.
Again, I personally don't care. I mean, the PS3 was $599, which converted back in 2007. That was $1,000 Australian, and I bought it. So I'm not fussed. Whatever it is, I'll pay it. But the reason there's so much talk about it is A, console wars.
Yep.
And B, because it's odd. Like, you know, you say that why are video games so different? Because they are. Like, why is it that we've had these consoles revealed months ago, yet we don't have the price? Like you said, every other product, the product and the price gets revealed at the same time.
I would argue the reason for that is the turnaround time, right? A console, any software being made for it takes years to really get over the line, right? And they need to get interest from partners. They need to get interest from publishers, developers across the board. They need to be able to start talking about it at build. They need to start sharing information. And as soon as you do that, you risk losing control of your messaging and having a leak, which, let's be honest, Sony's felt the brunt of that with the GitHub leak. You know, that sets a tone and a story ahead of your messaging. So that's why I think video game consoles are revealed or talked about perhaps a little bit earlier than other technology. But that's not really my point. The price is the thing. I would be perfectly content with Microsoft having an event in October and saying the console releases in 4 weeks, here's the price. And I'd be like, okay. Like,
here's an idea. maybe if Sony and Microsoft stop treating everyone like children and stop enabling the console wars, maybe the console wars shit will stop. Just a thought.
Unfortunately, marketers really like the console wars.
This is the thing. As long as they keep, like, the fact that they're playing chicken on the price, they're just further enabling that crap.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people can't turn around and complain when Microsoft and Sony are encouraging it themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it'd be cool if everyone just, oh yeah, that's the price, whatever. I'll pick the console I want and pay the price I want, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, why it has to become this whole thing of, oh, well, if they're that price, it's dead, and if they're that price, they win, and it'll be what it'll be. I mean,
and that's where I'm kind of like leaning towards like understanding why you're saying Microsoft go higher, because A, they have built, frankly, the more powerful box, right? And B, they don't care. Like, as a business, they don't give two hoots about the console wars or the image. They know they have a fan base, right?
But my assumption is they do care about the console wars. Otherwise, they would have announced the price by now.
I think they'll announce first. I think they'll announce before Sony. I don't think that they're going to alter their plans.
Yeah, but then why wait so long?
I think,
like, I don't know. I've started to come around on the idea that the reason they're waiting this long is because they'd like to price it at $399 and $599. $399 for the Series S and $599 for the Series X, which for the Series X, I mean, the $599 price, everyone talks about. I mean, I've said for ages, $599 isn't what it was in 2006.
No.
In 2006, $599 was, oh my God, it's the most expensive. That's more expensive than a car.
Yeah.
In 2020, $599 isn't more expensive than a car.
No.
Like, it's really not a big deal. However, $399 for the Series S,
I think that's too much.
That's going to be a bit of a problem because Sony's going to be damn close to $399 on at least one of them, which really renders the S worthless.
Yeah.
Like, the S can't be anywhere near any of the PlayStation 5 models because why would you buy an S?
Yeah, well,
like,
I think
for an extra $50 or $100, you can get a PS5. Why would you bother with the S?
Yeah, and I think this is where I think all access is going to come into play for Microsoft. I think you're going to see,
and that's why they're pushing it. That's the other reason I think we're going to get the higher prices because they're really going to push all access, and they wouldn't be pushing all access if they had cheap prices.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So are we going to see? Yes, you can buy it standalone, but it's $5.99 and $3.99. But you can get an all-access pass with 3 years of Game Pass, and you pay off your console like you would a phone contract. Is that how they're going to go to retail with this? It's going to be interesting.
That is how they do it now.
They do it. They did it with the One X, didn't they? Did they do
with
it
the One S and the One X?
Did they do it with One S?
So, yeah, in Australia right now, you can add a One S or a One X to your phone plan, to your phone bill, and you get Game Pass and you get the console, and you can upgrade it to the Series X when it comes out. It's already here in Australia.
Wow,
it's been here for a while, and they said when the new Xbox comes out, it'll just slide right in.
And you're enjoying xCloud in Australia, right?
Oh yeah. Really enjoying it.
Wow.
I mean, even though our 5G and 4G networks are some of the best in the world, we still don't have
no
xCloud.
Data center for you. Bad times.
We have two of them here.
You have two Azure?
I don't know. Sorry?
You have two Azure data centers?
Yeah.
Huh.
One in Melbourne and one in Sydney.
Oh.
We've had them for years. We've had them since 2014.
That's odd. I wonder why you haven't got xCloud yet.
I don't know. Maybe because our data centers don't have those new racks installed. I guess that's the only conclusion I can come to on that.
Bad times.
It's really annoying because I'd use it. Like I use Remote Play.
Yeah.
On PlayStation, I use it, and that's not even good. It's like 720p and has to be on Wi-Fi. I can't use 4G, and I still use it. So imagine how much I'd use xCloud if it was here.
Interesting.
Anyway.
Interesting.
More dumb decisions.
We did see, however, a good decision from Microsoft, and that was the release and the showing off of the new dashboard, which I have to say,
a lot of people have it now, don't they?
Lots of people have it. It's really good. It looks great.
Really good. Looks really good.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed at the speed of it. I've heard nothing but good things. I can't wait to finally get the Switch flipped and experience it for myself.
Me too.
Because I pulled myself out.
And good news for 1S and 1X owners. Apparently, they've reduced the footprint of the OS by like 40%.
Wow.
So hopefully that means that on 1X it'll finally be a 4K dashboard.
Ooh.
Because
it was a
it's
1080p
jarring,
dash, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's jarring. Like, I use the dash on the OLED and it looks kind of blurry, and then I turn on the PlayStation 4 Pro and it's all nice and sharp and 4K. It looks so good. Yeah, I know. But like I said, I'm not like other people. Games are whatever. Every console has games. I care about that more inane stuff, like the dashboard and how it looks, and is it in high resolution, and I care about that ancillary stuff.
Yeah, I do too.
Games are actually weirdly on the bottom of the list of the stuff I care about, because every console has good games. Who cares about the games? Games are games, whatever. Yeah. I care about the other stuff. I know that's weird. I'm aware that's weird. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, that's how I work.
We saw that. I know we mentioned Series X, and I think we tentatively mentioned Series S earlier, but we had a couple of leaks that I think a controller got bought in Chicago and it had the Series S branding, and then we've seen
but it was an Xbox One controller, the one without the share button.
Yep. Now this one's also saying compatible with Series S.
Yeah.
It's coming, folks. It's going to be an interesting month this month.
They're still not announcing it.
It's like the worst kept secret, isn't it?
Oh, just like, come on.
So how do you think they're actually going to announce it, though? Like,
I don't know. Like, I'm at that point where it's like, I'm hoping for their sake that the reason they're holding on to this thing for so long and taking so long to announce it and the price is because it's like $199. Then it would make a splash. If they announced the Series X just before it came out, here's the Series X, this little mini Xbox that, it's 1080p Series X, but, it's got this great upscaling tech, so it'll be almost indistinguishable to the naked eye at 4K, blah, 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 and it's $199. Yeah. That makes a splash. Then all the waiting would make sense.
Yeah, if it's a big moment.
Yeah. If the Series S comes out, finally gets announced, and they're like, oh yeah, here's this really piss weak console, and it's $400.
Would you be there just slow clapping them like?
But it's such a Microsoft thing to do, and that's what I'm dreading. It's such a Microsoft thing to do. Yeah. They're just going to show this console. It's going to be like, and it's going to be $400, and man.
Hopefully not.
Jez wants to bet me.
What does he?
He wants to bet me that the Series X is going to be $500. I'm telling him it's going to be $600.
Oh, I'd take that bet.
We'll see whose sources are better.
I'd take that bet. I think it's going to be $499 as well.
Hey, like I said, I was firmly in $499. Firmly. I refused to believe it was going to be $1 above.
But now he's not so sure.
Things change.
Another game that's out there making waves that I really do need to hurry up and pick up on Steam at some point once I actually get a chance to sit down and play is everybody's favourite internet meme-ridden viral sensation, and that's Fall Guys. Have you guys played it?
No, I've attached it. I've attached it to my PlayStation account with Plus.
I think they just decided to make it not free, so I haven't used it.
Oh.
Don't you have Plus?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Dope. Oh, well.
Yeah, I just attached it, but I haven't played it yet.
Yeah. You got to wonder, so they released that on PlayStation Plus, right? So it came out...
Just like Rocket League.
And it's done something very similar to Rocket League, which again shows the power of the PlayStation platform in by being that market leader, the mind share that it can grab. It works wonders for Rocket League, and it's worked equally wonders for the team that developed Fall Guys. Is it Devolver that's publishing them?
They published it.
Yeah. I can't remember the actual developer.
So there's been a lot of questions about the exclusivity and stuff like that, and I think so. Someone leaked a little Discord screenshot because someone asked about the exclusivity, and like a Discord bot replied. God, I wish I had the screenshot in front of me. The Discord bot replied about it not being exclusive or coming to other platforms later or something like that.
I thought
there was an indication that it's
code in the PC version that mentioned Xbox One. So
did they?
I think that's the screenshot I saw. So I think it's definitely coming. So any Xbox only...
I mean, Rocket League came to Xbox 7 months later.
Yeah.
So I assume Fall Guys will be, I don't know, 6 months or more.
I feel like that's just a missed opportunity, though, because like Fall Guys is just like a very unique thing, but unique things don't tend to last that long. So I feel like
Rocket League's still going.
Yeah, but without active support, and we'll see how active support happens with the game. But typically, I feel like coming so late to the platform, it might come out at a point where people just don't care about Fall Guys anymore. I don't know. I think it depends entirely on if people are still making videos about Fall Guys or still watching it on Twitch within like 6 months, then maybe it'll be successful. But
I think
if no one cares to play it anymore within 6 months on any like streaming or video platform, then it's dead. It's going to come at a time when no one cares anymore.
Yeah, interesting. It might care on how much. It might depend on how much Microsoft pushes it as well. Like when Rocket League came to Xbox, Microsoft like remarketed the crap out of it and pushed it really, really hard, and it kicked ass on Xbox.
Yeah. I think
it's
as well,
still doing really well.
You could launch a game like Fall Guys. You could do a similar deal and say, "Here it is. It's coming to Game Pass. We've paid for it for our subscriber base." That would get a lot of attention.
And that would be my guess. Yeah, like I'm assuming that and again, if Microsoft is smart, my assumption is that they launch it into Game Pass, market it heavily via Game Pass, pay for a Series X, fund a Series X upgrade.
Yeah.
Just go the whole hawk. Treat it like a first-party release, kind of like what they did with Rocket League.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it'll do fine if they do that.
Yeah, there'll probably be an exclusive Master Chief bean that you can play as or something.
Yeah.
Something
hopefully.
like that. There's always a way. But yeah, for now, it's PlayStation and PC only. But speaking of PC and PlayStation... there was millions of voices cried out in horror and were suddenly silenced earlier this week.
Jesus.
When a quote was it a quote from Herman Holst?
Yeah, it was like their financial report or whatever it was.
Report. Looking forward, I think it was something along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing, but it was something along the lines of, we're looking forward to bringing more of PlayStation games to PC soon.
In a shock to no one that has a function.
I think some people are pretty shocked. There's a certain subset of fans out there that are very upset for some reason.
We've been saying it on this podcast for like 7 months.
Yeah.
Like or more. Like come on.
Don't we already know what the next ones are?
No, what we said was we were told that back when the earliest talks of like Sony dipping their toes in PC, they were obviously there was Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
And then they were looking at possibly Gravity Rush 2 and The Last Guardian.
Yeah.
Which haven't eventuated yet, but really outside of Horizon Zero Dawn and what's that other Amazon delivery game? What the hell's it called? Kojima's game? Death Stranding.
Death Stranding, yeah.
Delivery game.
And MLB, obviously. MLB, the show, will come to PC
now,
next year. The 2021 will come to PC.
And Xbox.
Yeah, we assume.
I'm pretty sure that's confirmed.
But, like, come on. And we said this back then. We said this ages ago. why would Sony want to leave all that money on the table? Like, there isn't, despite what toxic gaming Twitter will have you believe, there isn't these millions and millions and millions of PlayStation gamers that are just hanging to spend thousands on a PC so they don't need a $400 PlayStation anymore. Like, that's not how that works. Like, don't worry about what PC gamers tell you. PC gamers don't think properly. Like, there aren't all these people waiting to spend thousands on a PC capable of beating these consoles just so that they can put in all this extra work to get their games running.
Yeah.
That's not a thing. It's not a thing. It's just not. Yep. Like, I got a Surface which can game, and even this Surface I have to put in work for my bloody PC games. Like, PC gaming's not as big as console gaming, and it never will be.
Yeah. It's like, definitely big, but it's not the moneymaker.
It's not like console gaming.
To be fair, if you get one of those NVIDIA 3000 series cards, you can just use that as your PC, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. You can just plug that in, $500 and just plug it in. Yeah, I forgot about that. And hasn't it got like a sync button on it, so you can sync up your controller and your keyboard and mouse to it as well?
Exactly. It's got all the bells and whistles.
It's got loads of like 12 USB ports on the side.
It's okay, Sony fans. You'll be fine. It's okay. Sony's still going to sell 100 million PS5s. It's okay. Life will go on. You'll be fine.
And that kind of leads into the whole thing, too, of like the people who are always going like, I just need a PlayStation 5 and a PC next gen. I can play all the games I want without an Xbox. I guess
they just need a PC now.
And the moment you bring up like, okay, but what if Sony decided to port all their fucking first party games to the PC? What would you do then? It was like, that's stupid. Why would they do that?
Yes, like, you just need a Switch and a PC now.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's a
so
weird
dumb.
mindset. It is a weird mindset.
So dumb. Like, the number of people I know that would legitimately give up consoles to spend thousands on a capable PC, and I say thousands because, okay, so shocking news, America's not the center of the universe, right?
What?
Yeah.
And outside of America, PCs are super expensive. Like, ridiculously expensive.
Okay, to be fair, outside of Canada and America, because Canadians have a really good market for PC parts too.
No. PCs are expensive in Canada too, mate. Got news for you. They're expensive.
They're around the same general like area as in the US. Yeah, I know a few Canadians who would vouch for that.
So do I. I play Rocket League with one every week. That's telling me how much a new PC would cost him. And it's a hell of a lot more than what an American's going to pay.
I priced up a rig yesterday. I was just playing around, and it came to just shy of $4,000.
Jesus.
But that was not just focusing on gaming. That was focusing on video production and editing and da-da-da-da-da. If I focus on gaming, I could probably bring that down to about 2.5 maybe. But
to be fair, they've priced these GPUs quite aggressively.
Yeah, NVIDIA
at least taking the 3090 out of it, obviously. Like the 60, 70, and 80 are priced quite aggressively. Like I think the 3070 and the 3080 are like, the 3070 I think is like 800 or 900 Australian.
Yeah.
Which is still $100 or more than what the Series X is going to be, and that's just the GPU. Like, to put the rest of the PC together is still going to cost me over $2,000. Yeah. And this is what I'm trying to say. Like, no one's going to give up consoles for this. It's not going to happen.
You can build a capable PC on a budget. Like, you can build a capable PC, and that really then depends upon what you're pushing, right? If you're just pushing 1080p, you can build a capable PC probably for about 800, 900 quid. And I say capable.
But a Series X is 4K.
Exactly. So, the consoles aren't going away anytime soon. Don't worry.
Oh, and the other thing that people aren't considering, have you seen the size of those GPUs?
They are huge.
It's as big as the Series X.
The 3090
just the GPU is as big as the Series X.
Oh, I can't wait for the day. I said this on another Discord server, but I can't wait for the day that GPUs would take up 50% of the room in a mid-tower case.
Well, the 3090 already does.
Yeah, and take an entire 24-pin power.
Oh my god! Cable. I looked up the price. I looked up the price of just the power supply that I'd need for these new GPUs, $150 just for the power supply.
Yeah.
And that's like a cheap price. If I just went to a regular PC retailer down here, it would probably be $200 or more.
Yeah.
Like, but this is what I'm saying. Like, it's fine, PlayStation fans. There isn't millions of people waiting to leave the PlayStation ecosystem just to go build a PC.
Yeah.
It's not a
thing. I find as I get older, I play on PC more, but that's often because I'm working, and then I might be doing something for the site, for the program, and then I might switch over and just treat it as an all-in-one. But I also know that when this home office is completed, on this horrible wallpaper here, which will eventually disappear, there'll be a nice 4K screen, and there will be just a spin of the chair for console gaming, and that's going to be great. I think the best thing about this whole future and this whole gen, especially towards the end of this one, is that I have friends that have just an OG Xbox, and I have friends that have the S or the X, or they just have always gamed on PC. And more, the conversation hasn't been, oh, I can only play with these guys because that's on that platform. More and more, it's been, let's all just jump on and play because we can. And that great. Is the best thing to come out of this gen, apart from Game Pass, in my opinion.
It's good.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
I was playing Fortnite on PS4, and my daughter was playing on the Xbox upstairs, and her cousins were on. One of them was on an Xbox, the other one was on a PC. We were all in the lobby. It was great.
It's glorious.
It's good.
So I love it. More, please.
It's really good. It's really good.
Do we have a rumor mill this week? Do you have any news? Any gossip?
I don't think so.
Hold on.
Oh.
Do I have one?
Do you have one?
Oh, right. Wait. Oh, no. I didn't think about it before we started. Hold on. I think...
Quick, make something up. Just say Elden Ring is releasing.
I think I did have one. Hold on. Where is it? Oh, I can't remember now. I thought I had one.
You know we're going to carry on talking, and in about 5 minutes you're going to interrupt everyone and go,
yeah, I know. I know.
It. So I'm just going to carry on talking, and I wanted to do a quick shout out actually on our young fledgling forum, which if you haven't joined yet and you listen to this podcast, you definitely should, because it's really great. It's going really well. We've got a lovely community for the most part. We haven't had too many infuriating trolls. But we have had some really excellent, really well thought out OTs put together. And I wanted to give a quick shout out to, I think, and I'm hoping I pronounce his username correctly, Ruthwick Rao, who did a really good OT. Basically, he put his thoughts down on the Series X and a whole bunch of things, and we tweeted it out earlier this week. It was really well written, so it's a good read. And I also want to give a shout out to what's his name? Come on, brain. Bruno Costa. Bruno Costa was, I think, one of the first people on the forum to earn the outstanding official thread, because he has, and I presume it's a he because his name's Bruno. Apologies if I've got that wrong. But he has created an OT of just epic proportions. So if you want to know every single possible nugget of information about the Series X, all the games confirmed, what optimizations there are, Game Pass, console exclusives, everything, it is all there. He's got a release calendar for the next 2 years and to be announced. He's got the whole 9 yards. It's really solid, and he's constantly updating it, so massive kudos to both of those guys for all the effort they've put in. That's really cool to see. There you go. I've given you enough time. What's your rumor mill?
Rumor mill. No, there's stuff in there. There's stuff in here, but it's not stuff that I've been given the all clear. I didn't check it. I mean outside the $5.99 thing, but there's nothing here that I've been given the all clear, to say. There is stuff here that I'd love to be able to say, but I can't yet.
Yeah, you just said the $5.99 thing. That implies that it's something that you've heard as well as you've thought. Interesting.
Well, I said that earlier.
Did you?
I said earlier.
Did
we'll
he,
see who's
folks?
got better sources between me and Jez.
Call me out on that one. I'm not sure. Did he? In that case, then it's time for everybody's favourite podcast segment. And I have to say, before we go into this, considering the amount of news this week, I thought this would be like a monster of a podcast. I thought we'd be like 2 hours in before we even hit community questions. But man,
I'm okay. I'm actually okay with it being a shorter one today. It's Father's Day here.
It's Father's Day in Australia.
So I woke up very early in the morning on Father's Day to do this podcast. So my kids are waiting out there with a present and breakfast, which I haven't eaten yet.
Oh, well, okay.
So yeah, I actually wouldn't have much of an issue with this one being a quick one.
Fair enough. Well, in that case, we'll dive into community questions. But before you do Twitter, Discord, etc., I just wanted to hit up our lovely patrons on Patreon. So we give them a little love, because obviously they're giving us a lot of love. So I'll just quickly do these. So from Justin O'Brien, aka Blast the Bass. How soon do you think it will be until I can access the games I actually own through xCloud? I don't understand why there would be licensing issues, since I'm essentially just signing into another Xbox. If this isn't happening at the full launch of xCloud, then why even launch it yet? That is a good question. I'm surprised it didn't launch with it.
Decisions.
Yeah, I think that I get what you're saying about there not being licensing issues, but we saw with GeForce, even though the game was owned by the person trying to use GeForce Now. Is it GeForce Now? What's it called? GeForce Cloud?
Yeah, GeForce
whatever
Now.
It's called. The publishers and were not happy about this, because that's not how they sold their game.
No, because there's a big thing with how GeForce Now worked, where nVidia had signed up a bunch of publishers to allow their games to be streamed, right? And that was made clear from the outset. What wasn't made clear from the outset was nVidia wanted to start charging people for using the service. Right? So
who's getting what cut of the pie?
Yeah. And that wasn't in the original agreement with those publishers. So those publishers started taking their games down because none of them agreed to allow, even if the users using GeForce Now owned the games in question, none of them allowed nVidia to take a cut of that pie. So I don't think there would be a similar licensing issue case on xCloud's part, because, again, they're not charging you for that specific aspect of the service, right? They're not going to be charging you to stream games you already own. But I think they have to renegotiate contracts to allow for them to stream those games, to include, hey, if you publish on our platform, we have the right to allow our users to stream those games.
Yeah, and I think that part of that might be, some sort of cut of some description. You got to remember, Microsoft as a publisher, as the platform holder, they take 30% of everything bought and sold on the store. So you might wonder if there's going to be some sort of negotiation going on there with partners. You'll probably see, if I was a betting man, that will happen fairly swiftly after launch. But I would guess that it would not be all publishers. You can probably expect Activision not to jump on board, as an example. There was a rumour, I think, that Game Pass was going to get a little add-on, and lots of hints towards it being EA access. And I think Jeff Keighley made some sort of comment about basic cable versus, I don't know, HBO or something, when he was talking about Xbox versus PlayStation 5. But
Jeff, why won't Sony hire me already, Keighley?
But it's definitely, it's an interesting analogy, because the thought behind it, as I understand it, or the context behind it, was that EA Play or EA Access would come to Game Pass as an add-on, like you would add a channel to your cable package. Not something I'd be particularly interested in. There's very few EA games that particularly interest me.
But again, that still makes no sense.
It doesn't make sense to me either.
When you just subscribe to EA Play.
Exactly.
and it's there on your console anyway, and you just play the games. It makes no sense.
I think the implication is addition to xCloud. Because you can have EA Play, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the console will recognize you as owning those games to be able to play them on streaming. So if it's like pay $5 for EA Play plus the ability to xCloud stream, that's probably a different thing. I can see where John's coming from with like the whole channels idea. In that case,
that's just as what I understood the context to be, but maybe I'm wrong.
That makes no sense though. No. I know he mentioned the channels thing, but the channels thing makes no sense. In the context of how it works on your console, the channels thing makes zero sense.
For a local machine playing the games, it doesn't make any sense. But if you're not on a local machine and you're planning on using xCloud extensively, and EA Play doesn't extend to xCloud benefits, then it makes sense that a channels feature would exist.
Maybe.
Interesting, but I think it's a valid question, and perhaps we can look forward to Microsoft shedding some light on this whole shebang in their September show.
Wouldn't hold your breath.
Which, Captain Pessimism over here,
no, it's
keeping us all on the straight and narrow.
He's talking about me.
Yeah, I'm talking about
Nick's right. Nick's right in a lot of the whole pessimistic attitude, because Microsoft hasn't really given us a lot to work with. In a year when they're launching a new console where they should be dropping bombshells left and right and detailing how this all is going to work, they've done essentially nothing but 2 wet farts in the wind.
Well, man, I don't know. I would argue that right up until the July show or the May show, everyone was Microsoft are killing this. And then the May show was overhyped, and then it was a bit of a stumble. But it was
what they've done well, the one thing they've done really well is been ridiculously open about the hardware.
Yeah, super
of the Series
X.
There is nothing we don't know about the Series X.
Yeah,
we know about its audio processor now.
3D audio. It hasn't got 3D audio like the PlayStation 5, right?
I thought PlayStation 5 had exclusivity on 3D audio. Wait, didn't Sony invent 3D audio?
Yeah.
That's not the case?
No, mate, no, actually, we've got 3D audio on the Xbox One.
I mean, you have 3D. You have 3D
Xbox One.
I don't understand those arguments. Do people not know that Dolby Atmos and DTSX exist? Or
hold on. You and I, as Apple fans, I wouldn't call myself an Apple fan. I'm just an Apple user begrudgingly. But as Apple users, you and I both understand how Apple, just like Sony is starting to do now, make silly people think they invented old technology.
Yeah.
That's what Sony and Apple do. They make people believe that they invented very old technology.
Yeah.
So, Apple invented high-resolution screens.
Yeah.
Apple invented paying with your phone. They invented all these things that have been around forever.
Yeah.
And now Sony is inventing new technology like 3D audio, which apparently has never been around before.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
SSDs, Sony invented SSDs too.
Yeah.
They haven't been on PC forever.
Yeah.
They're exclusive to PlayStation.
Absolutely. So I hope that answers your question, Justin. The next one is from Tom, who has asked, what are the chances Xbox is able to get a big timed third-party exclusive from one of the major publishers in the launch window to make up for Halo Infinite's delay? All of the third-party deals seem to be from smaller developers, and we know Sony is emptying their purse for launch-timed exclusive games. I would not bet much money on any kind of timed exclusive. The only thing I thought Microsoft might do, if they were very, very savvy, would be to rush their tech guys and their fucking Series X engineering leads straight into CD Projekt Red's building and be like, hey, that Series X upgrade for Cyberpunk 2077, can we help G that along and make that arrive first, because that's a big feather in the cap.
Hell, I would have just money-headed the next-gen upgrade. Just straight up money-headed the next-gen upgrade.
That's not CD Projekt Red's style at all. Like they give even now they've just announced The Witcher 3 is getting a complete edition release.
Look, Nick, if it was all about money, if it was all about money, CD Projekt Red wouldn't be operating the largest DRM-free PC game store on the planet.
Yeah, exactly.
On the planet. So they would have DRM up the
GOG.
ass. Yeah, GOG.
No, I know what GOG is, but the fact that it's DRM free is part of their play to get people on GOG.
Well,
not
no,
necessarily.
I think they have a general standing rule to not charge. We've sold you a game; it's your game to do with what you like, not to charge you for a license for it. You know, you've bought it, install it wherever you want. It's yours. Thank you. That's their premise. I don't think it's to get people on the store.
Well,
if it was
part
about
of it.
Because here's the thing. If that was their play to do it to go against Steam, how come no one else did it? Like they're the only real the competitor in that scene that is completely DRM free. Yeah. You know, it's more of a statement than anything.
Publishers and whatever.
Money talks, but sometimes some people's moral standards talk a bit more. Yeah. So
I just don't think they would take a money hat. They're not that kind of developer or company.
Yeah, no, like.
And I hate the phrase "money hat."
People are more easily motivated by emotions and standards and integrity than they ever are by money.
Yeah. They've got a good relationship with Microsoft.
They do.
I don't know.
Yeah, they could make it work. I'm not saying it's not possible. I just think I'm just agreeing with John here, saying CD Projekt Red does not seem like that kind of developer at all.
I think it would be perfectly reasonable if CD Projekt Red could be like, yeah, we were actually concentrating on this platform first, because PC's not going to get a next-gen upgrade. And it doesn't mean that they're not releasing on PlayStation 5. They're just saying, yeah, we're going to concentrate on this build first, and then we'll do the PS5 build. That's just marketing. And they're already marketing partners with Microsoft. So that
especially in the case of Microsoft, I think CD Projekt Red would do something exclusive-wise if Microsoft footed part of the bill for making Cyberpunk. So, because at least then they'd be contractually obliged to give Microsoft something in return.
Yeah. And that's why I said maybe they'll help make and fund the next gen upgrade.
Yeah, I don't think it will be exclusive though. That's the part that's not their style. Saying outside of that, I think what we'll probably see is games like The Medium. And other, what I would probably not refer to as AAA, but other larger independent or kind of larger sized teams games, they'll be pushed to the forefront from a launch perspective. I think that's about it. I don't expect any magical money hats at this late stage. COVID kicked them in the teeth. They had a plan. It fell through. They've just got to get on with it. They're not going to delay the console. And to be fair to Phil and that team, he said that back in like February. Like, we're not going to delay if it causes problems. We're not going to delay the actual hardware launch for more than one game.
Honestly, at this point, I think it would be better for everyone's sanity to delay the launch of the console.
Really?
I think so. Because we're at a time now where most people can't even afford the damn thing. We're at a time where games are just getting delayed left and right. Things that should have been available this holiday season are now early next year, late next year. Teams are shuffling and scrambling to get things done on time. Hardware manufacturing is down across the board. You're even getting to the point now where big companies that had rigorous hardware development schedules are coming out late. Like, Apple's not even going to release a new iPhone until November, and that's never happened before. Like,
they're not going to sit on all that inventory.
No way.
They're not going to do it.
I just think it's smarter to delay it, not even to the end of next year, just to delay it 6 months, because people need to be able to find their footing again, just so that the launch is more of a success than it is.
Yeah.
People want new stuff now more than ever because they're all stuck at home, wanting to do stuff.
Yep.
Like I said, man, our biggest electronics retailer here is doing better now than they have ever done, because people are just buying new TVs, consoles, computers, iPads. Like, people are just buying stuff, man, because they're stuck at home and they want new stuff.
Absolutely.
Like, and honestly, again, from a personal perspective, I don't even care about new games. I just want to run all my old games boosted. I want to run Recore off an SSD, so I'm not waiting 15 minutes to get into a game. I want to play Rocket League at hopefully 120. I want to, like, I don't even care about the new games. I'm waiting for that.
Can I just say, though, this actually reminds me of something I wanted to talk about earlier. The whole PS5, you can pre-order it now, but there's no set price, and we're not going to reveal what the price is until some undisclosed date.
Yeah, I
but
forgot
you can
about
throw
that,
money at us anyway.
But
that
it's
whole
shocking.
Crap,
No, was that no? Hold on, wasn't that just putting your name down to register interest?
No,
to find out.
Sure you can put
you
money
get
down
into a
too.
lottery for a pre-order, and they will weigh your PlayStation activities and interests in their decision.
Which is literally the dumbest
thing. Which is
thing.
like,
really?
If you're the biggest PlayStation fanboy, then you might stand a chance. Pre-order directly from us. It's crazy. It's bizarre.
That feels like, honestly, like peak hubris.
Yeah.
And peak.
Yeah, I know.
They're doing Sony.
They're putting it up because, like, we're early September. We don't have a launch price for either console now, and Sony is not going to be the one to announce that price first, considering the fact that they are right now allowing people to put money down with no set price. We have no clue what that box is going to cost. We have no clue what the Series X is going to cost. And it's absolutely ridiculous that we're entering September with nothing. Nothing. I don't care if it's $5.99, $7.99. I don't care. We just need to know a price before we start putting money down. It's absolutely ridiculous that Sony's doing this. Like 100%.
Yeah, I didn't know they were.
And they're only doing it like it seems like they're only doing it for console wars because they do not want to be the first ones to announce that price.
But they do not. Like Sony has always done that, and they've done it brilliantly. That's why they have the fan base they have.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So it's almost all console war driven.
Yeah,
almost all of it.
Very strange.
And that's what I'm saying.
The console war, no one would care about Sony.
As long as these two keep stoking that flame and keep enabling it, it's going to keep happening. Like,
it's a sad state of
affairs. It's not even most of Xbox stoking the flame. It's just Aaron Greenberg, really. Like,
it's all of them. It's all of them.
Yeah,
they wouldn't be waiting on everything if they weren't.
God, we're gonna not know. We're not gonna know the price of those boxes until frickin' launch day at this rate.
But the thing is, Sony, I fully believe Sony will wait till launch day because they can. So right now, Sony's in a position where I reckon at this point it pretty much doesn't matter what price Sony announces, it's going to sell out and people will buy it. And if that's the case, why not wait till launch day and make Microsoft sweat? Why not? You can do it. Why wouldn't you?
I'm going to place a bet and say, at least from an Xbox perspective, that we will know about Series S and pre-orders and prices before we launch and record the next episode of this podcast.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Here you go, folks. It's 2 versus 1.
Nope. I don't think we're going to know about Series S.
You willing to put a game where your mouth is there, John?
No, I already owe Nick a game.
I don't think we're going to know about Series S or the price before October.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think if they're going to announce the Series S and the price, it's going to be October. It's going to be October.
I reckon the Series S won't even get announced. I reckon it's just going to show up. Just day one, it's just going to show up on retail shelves and everyone's going to be like, what the hell is this thing?
And they won't buy it because they won't know what the hell it is.
It's just going to show up. They won't announce it. It'll just be there.
Oh, man. What a weird
We have one more question in the Patreon.
We do. We have one more question in the Patreon. Sorry, Tom, for the massive tangent that we all went on there. From Hypernova 474, do we think that Xbox will add VR to the Series X at some point? If so, how long do we think that they will wait? Yes.
It's too smart.
Yes, but I would imagine 1 to 2 years from now. That would be my guess. And if they do it,
Quest to be plugged in,
I think they'll partner in some form with Facebook. which sickens me. But I'll have a Quest, and it is brilliant. But I don't know if anyone saw.
I'm getting a Quest 2. I will get the Quest 2.
I don't know if
the
anyone
next Quest.
saw. Facebook announced, or Oculus announced, that Facebook logins are mandatory on the Quest from next year at some point. And they've already been pulled off of shelves in Germany, because Germany and the EU in general are like, no, you can't force that on someone. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in that space. I'm hoping that the EU will kick them in the face and it won't happen, because I've got a good friend of mine who listens to this podcast. Big shout out to you, Harmonica. He bought a Quest after he tried mine, and he loved it, and he does not do Facebook. So if you're hearing this piece of information for the first time, have faith in the EU, Harmy. It will all be okay. But yeah,
I will get the new Quest though.
I will probably get it. I don't care about having Facebook. Honestly, I have a Facebook, but it just annoys me.
I'm just waiting for someone else to announce a mobile first headset like the Quest.
Maybe Sony will.
No, I don't want Sony to do it. Can Valve do it, please? Get a mobile version of the Index.
Well, I mean, the PlayStation 5 has a USB-C port on the front, so maybe they're going to do it like the Quest and have a link situation. You plug it in via USB-C and
maybe, but
give it extra power via the PS5.
I would rather Valve do it.
Sony makes phones.
I kind of trust Valve more. They have more of a good reputation with hardware.
Screw
like
Valve.
That. I can understand you trusting Valve more, but yeah.
I hate Valve.
Why?
Because
what
Steam
did they do to
sucks. Because Steam sucks. That's why.
Is that why you're so in favor of the Epic Game Store and Tim Sweeney?
Yes. I hate Steam. I hate Steam.
Steam just works.
Steam just
doesn't
works,
though.
It does.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Work. It doesn't. It's a myth.
Nah.
This idea that Steam is any good is a myth.
I didn't say it was
really
good.
Because when I hit install on a game on Steam, it installs no problem, and I launch it no problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. I agree.
The launching no problem is a myth.
It's old, and its UI is rubbish, and
UI
it's not attractive,
garbage.
But it works.
Garbage.
And it's fully featured, and that's all that matters.
Too.
That's all that matters.
GOG works.
But no one uses GOG.
No.
GOG's the best.
So moving from Patreon, Nick, what have we got on Twitter, Discord, forums?
A couple of questions on Twitter. One from Kickon, which is at Kickasolus. I know it sounds crazy. This guy must be listening to me. I know it sounds crazy, but what if there is a potential PC mode on Xbox Series X? Meaning it can run Steam and every game you can play on PC. It's stupid.
It won't be.
It's stupid, right? It does sound stupid.
And lose that 30% cut? No,
hey,
Microsoft's not going to do that.
I said the same thing. I said, what if they're planning a Windows mode for Series X and then you can just run PC games in your Series X?
I can do Excel on my
You can do Excel.
It's not going to happen. There's a distinct line. The operating system for Windows for gaming it does a whole bunch of other stuff in the background that PCs have the grunt power to push through. Whilst I have no doubt that Series X could run Windows just fine, it would have a detrimental effect on games and game development. But you can expect full mouse and keyboard support pretty much across the board.
Yeah,
I'll stick with you, Kick On. I reckon it's going to happen too.
You're all mad.
It's one of those. Actually, you know what? No, I'll disagree with you. You know why? Because again, it's one of those decisions that would be too smart, and Microsoft's not smart. So I guess they probably won't do it.
Windows isn't sexy. It won't ever come to console. No way.
We'll see. Next question. Scott ×2. With the recent announcement of the Mario 3D All-Stars collection, do you feel Microsoft need to do more to promote work they do on things like backwards compatibility enhancements, or is there a limit on how much they can push these things? We kind of spoke about this. I think they've done a good job. I mean, after Sony made their dodgy garbage announcement about their half-assed PC, Microsoft published a Newswire article saying, hey, all your games are there.
Yeah. Yeah,
straight away.
I think it is very much the case that Microsoft have done a lot of things that are great for us people that play games. But because they're not a market leader, they don't perhaps get all of the recognition and love that they probably deserve.
We spoke about it before. When you're not the market leader, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how good it is. It doesn't matter how bad it is. Actually, it does matter how bad it is. Unless it's something like earth-shatteringly huge, if you are not the market leader, it is nothing. It means nothing. Like I said, look at Sony's the market leader, but they're not the market leader in subscriptions. I shouldn't say that because there's more PS Plus subscribers than there is Xbox Live Gold. But like in that PS Now, Game Pass, xCloud space, Sony is not the market leader. So no matter what Sony announces, no one cares. Yet some mediocre-ish game comes to Game Pass and it gets celebrated. That's the advantage of being the market leader.
Yeah.
So that's how that works. And that's probably part of the reason Microsoft's leaning so hard into Game Pass too, because they know they're the market leader and every little announcement gets blown up.
Yeah.
So I guess they're just leaning fully into it because every good announcement with the Xbox doesn't get blown up. No one gives a rat's.
Yeah.
So
he's right.
They lean into Game Pass.
Yeah.
They lean into Game Pass. It doesn't matter what they say. Oh, we've got a super powerful console. Meh. Oh, this super powerful console's even really tiny and quiet. Meh. All your games are going to work on it from Xbox One and original Xbox and 360. Meh. Oh, we made the controller even better. Meh.
Do you know what? It
but
actually reminds me of a tweet from Ryan McCaffrey, and I really do want to reach out to him and see if we can get him on the podcast.
I've tried.
But he tweeted something like, "That's it. I'm going to stop drinking the Kool-Aid. I think that the consoles are going to be held back." And I'm like, "You've just put down a drink and picked up the Kool-Aid, dude. Like,
a different drink.
It literally just, it's painful. It is painful. I want to have that conversation.
The problem is, I think Halo Infinite helped spur on a lot of that.
Yeah.
Halo Infinite helped spur a lot of that talk.
Yep, it was not a good time for MS. Bad times. Yeah. Never mind.
But yeah.
Who's
so
next?
That's the Twitter question. So now there's only one in Discord, so one proper one in Discord, I should say. And we've already covered it, really. Proven asks, Nick keeps saying he believes the Xbox will be $599, $399. Does he truly believe that? Or is he just scared that Xbox will be dumb and pricing correctly? Proven, it's both. In my opinion, Xbox probably thought PlayStation was aiming for $399 for PS5. So it would be crazy to me to think they would make this Series S $399. Also, $599 is just a horrible sounding number and likely gives Xbox bad publicity. Yeah, they need to get over that bad publicity thing.
Yeah.
Like, the world pays more money for stuff now. I never understood this idea that $600 is this ridiculously expensive price. Like, it's not. Like, an Apple TV costs the same price as an Xbox One S, and it does nothing compared to an Xbox One S. So I don't understand.
It runs the media apps better.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does. Using Netflix on an Xbox One S is nothing but a lag fest. It's super smooth on an Apple TV.
I never have problems with Netflix on an Xbox.
I don't know, man, because I use the Xbox One S that I have outside on my big theater screen with 1080p, and it lags like crap. But the Apple TV is smooth as butter.
I've never had a problem. I even AirPlay on my Xbox. Like an Xbox just is the best media player on earth. Theoretically, it shouldn't even even a regular One S based on that should be $600. It's got terabyte of storage. Apple TV doesn't have a terabyte of storage. Does more than the Apple TV. Plays games. HDMI in. Like, I don't know. It's like video games is this weird Bermuda Triangle of logic and reasoning where it all just goes out the window, and I find it bizarre. Like, I feel like as an industry we have to let go of this idea that we want our consoles to get cheaper and cheaper but more powerful and more powerful. You can't have your console have the ability to render a Pixar movie and still expect to pay $400 for it.
Yeah.
It's not how the world works. Like, you have to get over that. Stop being dumb. Just, if you want more, pay more. That's how the world works. Like, you can't... seriously.
You know what grinds Nick's gears?
Stupid people. That's what grinds my gears. People that are just stupid. Like, honestly, if you want more from your console, then pay for it.
Yeah.
Like, don't stop expecting to pay $400 for a ridiculously powerful console. Just stop. Like, it's just dumb. It's just dumb.
There you go. Hope that answered your question.
Proven. Yeah, but proven it's both. It's, I think, $399, $599 because they're dumb, and I think $399, $599 because that's what it's looking like. That's why they're waiting this long. Maybe they're trying to soften the blow. I don't know. So now the ending questions are from the forum. So we've got the Unsung Hero 26. Getting my question for the next episode in early. He posted it like nearly a week ago. The publishing wing of Xbox Game Studios used to be pretty open to letting their external partners own the IP for their games, like Gears of War, Mass Effect, Alan Wake, Sunset Overdrive. With a few exceptions, that changed this generation, with Phil Spencer saying he'd like to own what they fund, like Ori. But then again, they don't own Cuphead. So I still think it's a bit...
Maybe Cuphead was just came out of an older deal or something.
Yeah, Cuphead was announced fairly early on.
Yeah, that's true. So what do you think about this move? Do you ever see them making more exceptions in the future? We're already seeing former partners like Remedy and Moon work with other publishers that allow them to keep their IP. One more question. Do you see Microsoft collaborating with Playful again? Both versions of Super Lucky's Tale are great, and with new on Game Pass, it at least means they're talking. Yeah, Microsoft, I think, will make exceptions. Maybe they've done this because that's what Sony does. I think Sony forces IP ownership. Yeah. So maybe Microsoft sees that and goes, well, if they can get away with it, maybe we can get away with it. Guess what, Microsoft? You can't get away with it. Yeah. You're not the market leader. That's not how that works.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. Do we see Microsoft collaborating with Playful? Hopefully. Maybe we'll ask Paul if we get him on the podcast.
Yeah, we'll say, what are you making for Microsoft, directly. Paul?
Yeah.
Is it Banjo-Kazooie 3?
He is working on something. He is working on something. He was chatting with everyone in the Discord, and then after a very long chat with everyone, he said, all right, got to go work on the new game. And everyone was like, oh, what's the new game?
Teasing.
And
the teasers begin.
Yeah. So, yeah, hopefully we'll be able to find out from him.
Yeah.
Mort on the forum. Which game launch are you most excited about? You have to choose only one each.
Okay.
This launch looks a bit barren on both sides of the fence, and Halo leaves a big hole for Xbox this fall. But what is your favorite console launch lineup of all time, and why? Oh, I like that question.
Oh my goodness! This is a question.
When do you think we'll see Microsoft Flight Simulator on Series X? Is it possible they go the game preview route? Or
this is a lot of questions in one question.
Do they want to have a proper release later? Okay,
so
which launch game? We'll start with which launch game are you most excited about, and we have to choose one. Now, I don't know if he doesn't say Xbox, so it could be both consoles.
Nah, it's on an Xbox forum.
Yeah.
Let's presume Xbox. We're an Xbox podcast.
Okay.
I'm going to go with launch title. I think I'm probably most looking forward to, from a new game perspective, the Falconeer. From a playing it again at a decent frame rate with lots of bells and whistles. Sea of Thieves. Next.
Of the games we know for a fact the coming launch day, probably the Falconeer.
Cyberpunk.
Is it? Do we know Cyberpunk?
Cyberpunk is releasing right before the console.
Is it?
But the Series X version is not. It's not coming until next year.
You can still play it on Series X, technically, with backwards compatibility. So
I'll say Falconeer because that's a Series X game launch day. Upgraded game, Rocket League. That's the first game I'll be playing on the Series X, Rocket League. Figments.
What? I just said.
What? Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk, yeah.
That doesn't count, but anyway.
That does count. I just said why it counts.
Okay. Favorite console launch lineup and why? Dreamcast, by a mile. Dreamcast destroys any console launch that's ever come before it. Come on. Sonic Adventure, House of the Dead 2, Virtua Fighter.
That's
come
a
on.
pretty good launch.
Look, okay, but here's the thing.
Calibur.
No other console launch has had Game of the Millennia knack release on it besides the PlayStation 4 at launch. So,
and it did have Shadowfall.
And you are a big Shadowfall.
Not Shadowfall.
It did have Shadowfall.
Oh,
It's
man.
a really good game.
It's really it's launch lineup.
They're all pretty bad, to be honest.
You want to
I
know
think
what? You want
the
to know
one
something?
exception,
Xbox
I will say,
One's launch
Yeah,
is very underrated.
I was just about to say
Xbox One's launch had Rise, had Killer Instinct.
Dead Rising.
Dead
I
Rising
like both of
3,
those games.
COD,
Yeah.
Battlefield, Assassin's Creed. It was a pretty decent launch lineup,
Yeah,
man.
I have to say, like my heart, there was some fond moments of getting the 360 home. But yeah, the Xbox One actual launch lineup, like Rise in
It's
particular,
actually good.
was a really solid launch game. Had all the graphical bells and whistles you want from a next gen game. Did some cool new funky stuff. Was brilliantly made, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Seriously, people forget how, like, again, and we're not just talking first party exclusives here. The launch lineup, like the games you could buy for the console day one, Xbox One is right up there. I'd put it top 3.
Yeah.
Launch lineups. Like, it was a good. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are consoles that had better individual games. So Nintendo 64 had Mario 64. What was that other one? Xbox had Halo CE. So yes, those individual games are better than anything else. But as a launch lineup, that's really all the Xbox had. That's really all the Nintendo 64 had. Like, they didn't. I mean, PlayStation 2's launch lineup was garbage. PlayStation 3's launch lineup was even worse than garbage. I know, I was there. I mean, Resistance was good. I actually genuinely loved Resistance. But that's basically all there was. PlayStation 4's was okay for me, thanks to Shadowfall. It wasn't too bad. But the Dreamcast launch lineup just can't be touched. That cannot be touched. Sonic Adventure, House of the Dead, Virtua Fighter, Ready to Rumble, Soul Calibur, like, come on. Nothing will ever get near
Sega
nothing.
fanboys.
Like, come on.
You're never going to get rid of them, huh, John?
No,
That's just objectively the best launch
They
lineup
linger.
that's ever graced
They
consoles.
just came over to
Objectively.
Xbox.
Yeah.
Like,
They just couldn't, like, they keep pretending the Dreamcast is still about to be on the market, you know?
Dreamcast's the best. But no, Xbox One's launch lineup, very underrated. I'd probably put it number 2 behind the Dreamcast. As a launch lineup, like, the
solid.
breadth of games you can get
Yeah.
was, like, ridiculously good.
Yeah.
Day one. There's a lot to pick from there.
What was the third part? Was it MS Flight Simulator on Series X? Game preview route?
When do we think? And is it possible they go game preview?
Next year.
February.
We talked about this. Did we talk about this on the last episode?
It might have been mentioned.
I thought we did.
It might have been mentioned.
I
I think
thought we did.
February, something like that, would be sensible. It supports controller on PC.
Does it?
Yeah, but it's a very, very complex game, and I think either the Series X will support flight sticks via USB, or the Series X version will support mouse and keyboard, definitely. But I think they'll probably have a simplified control scheme for console because there's so many buttons.
Oh, there would be.
So yeah.
Yeah. It would have been smart to have it this year again because, as we've seen, games that rate highly on Metacritic penetrate the zeitgeist. And I see a lot of flight sim tweets and memes and all sorts of stuff. Be smart of Microsoft to cash in on that, but
Yeah.
we all know how that goes. So yeah, this year would have been smarter, but probably won't be. Next question from... So that question was from Mort. So this next question is from Piano Black. Probably been asked before, but what's your favorite recent game you've discovered through Game Pass that you didn't know you wanted? Mine is The Messenger, or maybe Surge 2, or Carrion. Damn it. Number 2, I think the most underrated part of Microsoft's recent strategy shift is how strong their PC-focused content has gotten after years of neglect, console first or console only, etc., etc. Along with the revised app, PC plus console launches for nearly all games, and PC Game Pass, what else do you see them doing to expand the number of players for Microsoft PC titles over the next few years? They're quickly becoming credible competitors, but what can they do to become a leader?
I would like to answer the second part of that question first, and that is to dump the Windows Store off of their back end.
By Valve.
Yeah. They need to find a way. No, buy CD Projekt Red and take over GOG as the.
No, that would they would completely throw away the DRM-free part of that store. That's the only reason anyone uses it. No, I don't want them taking over GOG. Take over Epic.
GitHub
Take
was left
Tim
open.
Sweeney out of the CEO position of Epic Games.
Was left open. No, I don't think they. I don't know. I reckon Microsoft would be open to DRM free. I don't know.
I doubt it.
No. No.
I agree though that their PC focus and content has gotten a lot better. But yeah, the store, the app is great, but it's still a really pretty. What's the phrase my dad uses? There's only so much lipstick you can put on a pig.
Put on a pig? Only so much polish you can put on a turd?
Yeah, it's like, yes, it works. And it works fine for me most of the time. But it still doesn't work first time, all the time, for a lot of people. And that is an extremely annoying thing to deal with when your PC game just doesn't install. Which is why people like Steam. Because, what does it do, Cairo? /Figments.
You hit install. It installs
works.
the game. You hit play, and it plays.
It hurts my eyes when I look at it. That's also what
it just works.
It just works.
But I will say, Piano Black brings up a good point. Like, so how many years has Microsoft been saying they're going to get better at PC? How many years?
10 or more.
15.
Okay, so when did Phil take over Xbox?
2014.
2015.
2024, baby. That's when Xbox gets better. 2024. It takes 10 years.
I think you've
From
seen...
when they start promising to when they deliver, it takes 10 years.
I think you've seen serious improvement, and I don't think they're going back now. They understand a little bit better what they need to do. The other part of that question, though, what's the favourite, most recent game discovered through Game Pass that I didn't know I wanted? That's a really good question.
It is.
Carrion has definitely got me hooked. I'm trying to get footage and get through it so I can write a review on it, because I think it's really great and people should try it out if you're a Metroidvania fan. But the biggest one that just out of memory for me was Lonely Mountains Downhill. If you've not played it, go and play it, because it is brilliant. Like, it is brilliantly good. Just really would recommend it. It's so much fun. And I believe they got some DLC announced during the whole online digital Gamescom thing earlier this week. Just gone. So yeah, that would be mine.
Yeah, I don't know what mine is recent. Like, I know there was Garden Between. The Garden Between was really good. Was Ape Out on PC Game Pass?
Yes, it was. It was really good.
Ape Out's cool. I played Ape Out. Ape Out's pretty cool. I quite like Ape Out. It looked good when I first saw the videos of it, but yeah, it's cool. But yeah, Ape Out for me, I'd say.
Yep. Any for you?
Probably.
Figments?
Nah, not really. I don't really play much Game Pass games, so other than the ones I know about.
Bit of a connoisseur. Good question. I enjoyed that question. Who else we got next?
We've got Shadowgasm. What a name.
Shadowgasm.
I'm sure you guys have covered these in various forms on previous shows, but how much of an impact do you think Xbox All Access will have on console sales, not only at launch but going forward? Also, will it be more effective in certain territories over others? Question 2, do you think Microsoft has a marketing problem?
We've literally covered
most way from launch.
It's more than a problem. It's a fucking disaster.
and I have yet to see a single commercial ad for it. Also, will they do a marketing blitz after they announce price, launch date, Series S? First one, so All Access. I don't know. I mean, All Access has been around for a while.
Yeah.
It hasn't had any marketing behind it, though, really.
No, it hasn't. It sounds like they're going to market it, but that leads to question 2. They have a marketing problem, so they might not market it. Who the hell knows? Microsoft's marketing is atrocious. Like they are.
It's really bad.
They just, I don't know. It's like they intentionally try and trip themselves up. I don't know what else. I don't know what there is left to say. They need to hire new people that understand how it all works, I guess. From a video game perspective. I don't know. Maybe the marketers they hire are just like general marketing people that don't get video game marketing.
I don't know. The Game Pass guy, marketing guy on Twitter, he's doing some serious work.
Yeah, he does okay, but that's just on Twitter. Like that's not going to be the same reach as their TV advertising and radio advertising and whatever else. And like they're not even sending emails. Like I've been getting emails from Sony reminding me that the PlayStation 5's coming. Like I haven't had an email from Microsoft about the Series X. Like it's just Shadow, their marketing's terrible. And I don't see that changing anytime soon, honestly. If it hasn't changed all this time, I don't see why it's going to change now.
Yeah. It's a bit weird.
Yeah, so last question. Big Z. Since I was too late getting the question in last time and it wasn't discussed, I would like to put forward my question again as to what do you all think of the Halo Infinite soundtrack so far? And do you think it will ultimately be able to live up to the legendary soundtracks of Halo 1 to 3, Reach, and ODST when we do eventually hear it in its entirety? P.S. I do actually like Halo 4's soundtrack, and even though I can appreciate some people's viewpoint that it isn't Halo enough. You know what? That soundtrack, here's the thing about video game soundtracks. Most people don't care about them. And like if you think about Halo, and again, we're talking the wider gaming community here, not just video game fanatics. Yes, there are video game fanatics who listen to video game soundtracks on their phone while they're driving, while they're working out. Those people are like a fraction of the video game fan base. For the rest of us that don't do that, the only Halo thing they know is the monk chant, and that's it.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, no. But from a more specific perspective, if the game is good, then people will remember the soundtrack.
Yeah.
If the game is not good, people won't give a rat's about the soundtrack.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of it, unfortunately. It could be a brilliant soundtrack. Gareth Coker is part of it, so it could be a brilliant soundtrack. But if the game is crap, no one will care. It's like Killer Instinct, right? So Killer Instinct soundtrack is unbelievable. It is legitimately unbelievable. And Mick Gordon did season 1 and 2, who does Doom's music. So Killer Instinct soundtrack is amazing. Do you reckon anyone cares? Nope. Killer Instinct wasn't super popular.
Yeah, I was going to say the game was great. It just for some, it's just
Xbox One
it was tanked the game.
That's right. The Xbox One launch disaster. So the unfortunate thing about soundtracks is that it's not just as simple as is the soundtrack good or not. It's unfortunately not quite that simple. There's a lot of external factors that go into that.
Yeah. As a big Halo fanboy, I think a lot of my enjoyment of the music in Halo comes from moments in the game, like really crazy fond memories of that moment in Halo 1 where the crazy guitar solo starts coming out as you start making your way up out of the cartographer's room on Silent Cartographer, and you're like, this is awesome, and you get that feel. And there's loads of moments throughout Halo, particularly 1 to 3, like Reach. I wasn't a big fan of the soundtrack of Reach. Right? It was cool, but it wasn't at that point for me. I was like, this is just Halo's greatest hits, which is a fine game, but ODST was really good, but that was because it captured the mood of the game, and the game was
did it really well.
Moody game. Halo 4, the soundtrack is actually really, really great, but the game didn't really set the world on fire. So I think Nick is nail on the head here.
What are you talking about? Didn't set the world on fire? It came out of launch with like a 95 or something.
Hey, critically, it was well favoured, but from fans, it's a bit divisive. Don't get me wrong.
And the funny thing is, it was mostly because of the multiplayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Halo
That's
4
the funny thing
game
about it.
is really gorgeous, and I think it is probably one of the better storylines, more cohesive storylines of a Halo game. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I think on the actual subject at hand, the 3 tracks I've heard from Infinite, from the 3 composers they've got, familiar, but I need to be putting some gameplay to them for them to mean something to me. So we'll have to. Time will tell, I think, on that.
Yeah, if the game is legitimately great, it'll help.
Yeah,
with the soundtrack.
Yeah, absolutely.
If the game's not good, no one's gonna care.
Oops.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
They seem to have good people involved, so that's something.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, I think that brings our community questions segment to a close. And now we have a slightly new segment, which is the first time we're doing this, and hopefully this list will grow. But we just wanted to give a very quick shout out to our wonderful patrons. So we've got Mr. Zweistein, the Scarecrow 121, Torn Raptor, Shadowgasm, Shade Developed, and Justin O'Brien, who are our tier 2 and tier 3 patrons on Patreon. You guys are awesome. Our
Thanks,
tier
guys.
1s, we love you too, but this perk is for the other guys. So if you want to get on this list, you know what you need to do.
There's a paywall behind.
There's
mentions.
a paywall to have your name on this podcast. But
we are an Xbox podcast, so we're all about those paywalls.
Yeah, it's like Xbox Live Gold. But in all seriousness, like everyone that has contributed and jumped on that Patreon is fantastic, and it really has made a massive difference to our reach. And you guys will soon see the benefits of that. It's gonna be good. So thank you very much indeed. And on that note, I think we'll probably call it a night. It's 1:30 in the morning for me. Nick needs his breakfast and he wants to go open his Father's Day presents.
10:30 in the morning and I haven't had breakfast yet.
And yeah, probably one of us needs to edit this bad boy together. So on that note, thank you for watching, for participating. If you haven't joined the Xbox Era forums yet, please do so. It'd be great to have you there. Feel free to check out our Twitter, jump on our YouTube, click all the buttons that we like you to click. And if you're interested in our Patreon, you can get some cool merch, from sticker packs to t-shirts.
Or if you just want to support what we do.
Yeah, that too. That's all fine and dandy by us.
That's always nice.
Yeah.
And on that note, we love you lots, and we'll see you next time. Catch you later.
Ciao for now.
See you guys.